कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकि कोकिलम्। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताया पतये नमः। जयत्याश्रितसन्त्रास ध्वान्तविध्वंसनोदयः प्रभावान् सीतया देव्या परमव्योमभास्करः परमव्योमभास्करः।
श्रीमते निगमान्त महादेशिकाय नमः। Akampana goes to the court of the king of Lanka. He mentions about Rama's valor and of course gives an introduction to Seetā Devi. Ravana is described in a very, very strong, fearful fashion by Valmiki. Vimshad bhujam dashagrivam darshaniya parichadam Vishalavakshasam Veeram Rajalakshana Lakshitam Uchchetaram Cha Dharmanam Paradarabhimarshanam. Look at the description. He had so many hands, 20. It is spoken always in all our transcreations of the Ramayana that he was Dashagrivam, 10-necked, which means 10-headed demon of Lanka. Further it says, Uchchetaram cha dharmanam paradarabhimarshanam. He always had this interest to break moral laws. Paradarabhimarshanam. And his passion was to seek the wives of other people. Paradarabhimarshanam. So this is not true only after Seeta's episode. Purim Bhogavatin Gatva. After having gone to this capital called Bhogavati, Purim, Bhogavatin Gatva, Parajitya cha Vasukim. So he defeated Vasuki, the snake, Takshakasya Priyam Bharyam. He took away the wife of Takshaka, Parajitya Jaharayaha. So he took away the wife of Takshaka. So this just substantiates the fact that he was always in love with other person's wives. Then Valmiki says, Prapta yajnaharam dushtam brahmaghanam krurakarinam karkasham niranukrosham prajana mahite ratam. He used to go interrupt the yajnas, the sacrifices, kill the brahmanas and did harm to all the created beings around him. This is the description of what we have of Ravana. Now Shurpanakha goes to that court. Remember, Akampana has already reached the court. After Akampana complains and describes about the Yuddham, Rama's valor and introduces Seetā, and as he is about to leave, Shurpanakha enters. So Shurpanakha tells Rama, Ramasya tu vishalakshi Purnendu sadrishanana Dharmapatni priya nityam Bhartu priyahite rata. Ramasya tu vishalakshi. I saw one lady. She is the one who is the wife to Rama. Vishalakshi, large-eyed woman. Purnendu sadrishanana. Purna Indu sadrishanana. Her face was akin to the new full moon. When full moon is full, that is how her face was. Dharmapatni priya nityam. Dharmapatni priya nityam. She is the Dharmapatni of Rama. Bhartuhu priyahite rata nityam bhartuhu. She is the one who is inseparable from her husband. Then she further goes to describe her beauty. Sasukeshi sunasoruhu surupa chayashaswini. The long-lived one has such beautiful tresses. She has such sharp features. Deva deva vanasyasya rajate shririvapara. I may be talking like as if she is a human being, Ravana. My dear brother, remember. Shririvapara, Shririvapara. She is Sakshat Mahalakshmi. Tapta Kanchana Varna Bharata Tunga Nakhi Shubha Seetā Nama Vararoha Vaidehi Tanu Madhyama. Vaidehi Tanu Madhyama. She belongs to this province called Videha, so she is called Vaidehi. Vararoha Tanu Madhyama. She is very youthful. Tanu Madhyama. And one thing, Ravana, I have never seen a woman with that kind of a hip, which is like a pseudo hip. You won't be able to conclude if she has a hip or not. Tapta Kanchana Varnabha Rakta Tunga Nakhi Shubha Seetā Nama Vararoha Vaidehi Tanu Madhyama. Seetā Nama. Her birth is divine, Ravana. It is said that she was found on the fields while the land was being ploughed and the tip of the plough spotted her. Seetā Nama Vararoha. That is the personality. That is the beauty I have seen, Ravana. Why should Shurpanakha tell so much about Seeta's beauty? What was the incident? She wanted to marry Rama. She proposed to Rama. Later she proposed to Lakshmana. She wanted to attack Seetā. Her aim was not to fetch Seetā for Ravana. But why does she have to describe so much about Seetā to Ravana? Because she knew if she talks about her humiliation, the humiliation what she was meted to, chopping of the nose, ears, that wouldn't matter to Ravana because Ravana was a very self-centered person. If at all his relationship with his brothers and sisters mattered so much, he wouldn't have killed his own brother-in-law and made his sister a widow. If relationships were paramount to Ravana, later he would not be excommunicating, will be making Vibhishana exit Lanka. So he was neither bothered about the welfare of his brother nor of his sister. All that mattered to him was I, me, myself. So Shurpanakha knew her brother in and out. So she did not want to make him furious by telling about Rama's valor. That was not her point. So she tried describing Seetā and she wanted to tell Ravana, you know, I am your dear sister. I always go in search in various places for your welfare. The moment I saw Seetā, I thought she should be by your side. So in this due process of fetching Seetā for you, I was given this humiliation. So that was her point. See the way she twists that entire incident. She is just like Duryodhana of the Mahabharata times. That's it. Now Ravana has been listening to Rama's valor initially from Akampada. He was furious. How dare a primitive mortal in the middle of the forest who's living like an ascetic destroy and question my valor by killing Khara, Dushana and Trishiras. This was his anger. Towards the end of the description, Akampana mentions of Seetā. That time, Ravana's mental state is slightly diverted. After listening to Shurpanakha describe Seetā's hair, Seetā's face, Seetā's nose, Seetā's eyes, Seetā's neck, Kambugrivam, Seetā's Vakshasthalam, Seetā's hip, now his concentration is completely on Seetā. Just imagine that state, the transitional state of his emotions from anger to curiosity to infatuation. This has been brought forth by the Tamil poet Kamban in an inimitable manner. You know what he says? The moment he listened to Shurpanakha's description of Seetā, what was his state? He had completely forgotten that he had lost his brothers. Khara, Dushyanth and Sridhar were dead. His brothers were dead. Somebody is dead, wouldn't you rush to the spot, bring that body, perform the final rites? Wouldn't you shed tears? He completely forgot about the death of his brothers, Khara, Dushyanth and Sridhar. As a king, he should have been worried about the death of so many Rakshasas at the hands of Rama. He was completely oblivious of that. He saw his sister, who was completely drenched in blood in her ears and nose. He should have at least acted upon that. He forgot even about the state of his sister. Then if he has forgotten about his brothers, about his citizens, about his army, about his sister, then what is the only thing that he remembered? The only thing that stuck to his mind was the description of Seetā. Nothing else he was able to remember. The Tamil poet Kamban tells, Karanayum marandan, Tangai mokinai kadindadum nindran, Uranayum marandan, உற்ற பழியையும் மறந்தான் வெற்றி அரணையும் கொண்ட காமன் அன்பினால் முன்னை பெற்ற வரனையும் மறந்தான். Marandan in Tamil means he completely forgot. He forgot so many things. What didn't he forget? கேட்ட மங்கையை மறந்திலாதான். The only thing he didn't forget was the description of the lady whom he listened to from Shurpanakha's mouth. That was of Seetā. கேட்ட மங்கையை மறந்திலாதான். He did not forget the description of Seetā. Then what did he do? He had to act upon. See, now it is the urge for him. As said before, he used to break moral laws. He was always interested in other person's wives. I don't know what interest he had in other person's wives. So, the moment he heard about Seetā, he thought this is his objective of getting Seetā back. Tatra pashyat sameghabam yagrodham munibirvritam samantad yasyata shakha shatayojanamayataha. He came all the way to Bharatadesham. So, he crosses Lanka, the oceans, and comes to Bharatadesham. There he comes to a certain banyan tree. Banyan tree also has a lot of importance in our Shastras, especially in Adi Parva of Mahabharatam, where Garuda sat on a banyan tree, and while the branch was breaking, to protect the Valakilyas, he took the branch of the banyan tree between his beaks. Sandra Krodhanubandhat Sarasi Nakhamuke Padape Gandashaile Tundagre Kantharandre Tadanuja Jatare Nirvishesha Yuyutsu Avyadasman Abhavyad Avirita Nakara Shrenidam Shtrabhigatau Jeevagraham Grihitva Kamatha Karatino Bhakshayan Pakshimallaha, says Vedanta Deshika while describing that banyan tree incident. But there is a banyan tree here. Somebody is seated below the banyan tree. Who is the person who is seated below the banyan tree? Whom did Ravana come and meet? Next episode.
Dear Astika reader, I am happy to be authoring a 2-part book on the Ramayana in English. The first part is slated for release in the year 2024. The book aims to recreate and retell the Ramayana of Valmiki, conforming to the ancient commentaries and other allied literature. To receive notifications of the book release, kindly register with www.deshikadaya.org/books. Namaskaram.